In March 2026, the United States and Israel launched a massive kinetic campaign against Iran, codenamed Operation Epic Fury. On the first day, Allied forces assassinated Iran's supreme leader. The strike was intended to collapse the Iranian command structure and trigger swift, total victory. The conventional strategy failed. Instead of a collapse, Iran launched an asymmetric response that expanded the conflict across 14 different nations. Iran targeted U.S. military installations located within neutral Gulf states. This specific choice was designed to disrupt global finance and halt international oil traffic. This data shows the unit cost of a single U.S. Interceptor missile compared to an expendable Iranian drone. The U.S. relies on systems like THAAD, the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, a system designed to intercept ballistic missiles, and Patriots, which cost between $300,000 and $3 million per shot. They are firing these assets at drones that cost a fraction of the Interceptor's price. This cost asymmetry is draining the American military. As shown by this declining trend line, incoming drone swarms are depleting Interceptor stockpiles faster than the industrial base can manufacture replacements. Why would an advanced superpower, led by a highly reactive executive, make a unilateral choice that drains its own military readiness and domestic stability? The answer may lie in the Russian intelligence concept of compromat. Compromat is the collection of compromising personal or financial material used to force political figures into compliance. Geopolitical analysts connect this concept directly to the Jeffrey Epstein network. They frame the operation as a state-level intelligence architecture rather than an isolated criminal case. This map visualizes that intelligence database. Analysts suggest it contains 5 to 10 million individual files, compiled to secure leverage over Western elites. In 2026, the release of 3.5 million pages of these files triggered a domestic legitimacy crisis for the U.S. administration. This has fueled the Epstein button entrapment theory. The assertion is that foreign leadership is using this leverage to ensure the U.S. executive branch continues to fund and support Operation Epic Fury, regardless of the domestic cost. The internal friction is measurable. Subpoenas against Department of Justice officials center on allegations that the DOJ is system. Historian Avi Shlaim's analysis of UK-Israel relations reveals how the establishment shields this alignment from public critique. Political and military-industrial groups utilize a specific tactic, the conflation of anti-Zionism, the opposition to the establishment of a Jewish state, with anti-Semitism to neutralize political opposition. In the UK, Keir Starmer took action against left-wing and pro-Palestinian Jewish factions within the Labour Party to maintain policy compliance. This institutional silencing reaches down to the rank and file within the U.S. military. A U.S. veteran sergeant with 20 years of service was recently investigated as a national security threat for posting anti-Israel sentiments on his personal social media accounts. Major executive statements and press headlines operate as informational utilities, engineered to manage domestic perception and enforce policy compliance. When Sergei Lavrov delivered a speech on regional security, Western media headlines falsely claimed Russia was flooding Iran with doomsday weapons, obscuring the actual diplomatic maneuvering discussed. State power relies on political silencing and economic austerity to restrict survival options. Austerity is the policy of reducing government spending to pay back debt, which in this framework enforces population dependence on the system. The 2026 war signals a departure from coherent Western geopolitical strategy, replaced by the volatility of personality-driven systemic entropy. A superpower relying on compromat and media deception cannot maintain global stability. Analysts now estimate a 95% probability of a global hybrid war. The erosion of traditional U.S. deterrence has created a power vacuum that adversarial nations are moving to fill. Russia and China are proposing an independent Eurasian security framework to bypass Western economic and military interference. This alliance structure is already functional. Iran is receiving covert satellite targeting data, and India secured a 30-day Russian oil waiver despite direct Western pressure. Hegemonic violence is a deliberately enforced structure. Building global resilience requires moving away from compromised, captured systems and towards decentralized models of human organization.